In a world full of diversity, it is important to include these cultures into the classroom. So students can learn about these cultures, teachers should include multicultural literature into the classroom. While there is no set definition of multicultural literature, it has distinct features. Multicultural literature is a variety of voices that diverges from the traditional canon of white, straight male authors. This literature contains books that reflect the diverse life experiences, traditions, histories, values, worldviews, and perspectives of the diverse cultural groups that make up a society. Multicultural literature centers on various themes such as race, ethnicity, culture, languages, physical and mental disabilities, social economic status, language variations, dialect differences, religion, various family structures, and sexual and gender identity. The challenge with multicultural texts is trying to create an awareness among teachers about the important role multicultural literature plays in the lives of children. There is a general concern with upcoming teachers and the cultural and linguistic mismatch between their students, since many of the students are multilingual and multi-ethnic, while their teachers are not. Multicultural literature helps alleviate these problems. Multicultural literature is important to use because it promotes diversity. It is crucial to create this inclusive classroom because students should read works that reflect the diversity of the United States population. If people only see themselves, characters with the same race, ethnicity, gender, and sexuality in the books they read, then people will believe those who are different from them are not worthy of appearing in books. Multicultural literature allows readers to connect to people from other cultures in ways Western male writers in the traditional literary canon are unable to do. It helps readers learn about their own and others' cultural backgrounds, realize many similarities that all people share and experience, begin to understand the injustices of the past, develop self-esteem and cultural identity, understand the problems faced by refugees and immigrant groups, develop a respect for a variety of cultural and individual characteristics, and opens the dialogue on issues regarding diversity. Researchers have found positive outcomes on students' interests and engagements while reading multicultural and urban texts where they see their race and cultures represented. When people read multicultural literature, it provides a gateway where readers can enter into a character's world from the vantage point of the author. This vantage point allows readers to grow empathy. Empathy development can help readers cross the cultural gap to understand the perspectives, actions, and attitudes of the characters they will encounter in multicultural literature. Multicultural literature is important to study because it increases cultural awareness, helps students grow in understanding themselves and others, and develops awareness of different language and cultural backgrounds. In addition, students will gain understanding about different beliefs and value systems, which help them become sensitive to the needs of others. Multicultural literature is also important to promote a variety of names in different cultures. Focusing on names is important because using students' personal names has the power to positively affirm identity and signal belonging in the classroom. Names can be a focal point for verbal bullying, so multicultural literature shows the variety of names from different cultures, which validates students' identities. Multicultural literature helps promote mutual respect, self-reflection, and empathy, as well as viewing students' own cultures and the cultures of others. When selecting multicultural literature, teachers should make sure the text is free from biases, distortion, stereotypes, racism, and sexism. Teachers should study the work in order to determine the quality of culturally rich books by looking at style, topics, themes, and perspectives, examining award categories of non-white cultural groups, and learning to determine the authenticity of authors' works. When choosing the books to teach, it is important to consider the students and their interests. In addition, the teacher must have passion in the book being taught because students are buying into the teacher, not the material. Multicultural literature can be effectively used with traditional canon since an understanding of classical literature can actually assist in the reading of multicultural works. English teachers should include both multicultural children's literature and urban young adult literature because both genres of literature provide diverse representations of the world and are inclusive of the variety of life experiences of youth and communities of colors. Teachers need to have principles that guide students toward understanding multicultural stories with context, values, and perspectives unfamiliar to most readers. Teachers must first check the authenticity of the story by examining the historical and cultural accuracy and complex issues in the book. Then, students need to understand the world of the ethnic characters by looking at their actions and intentions. After this step, students must see the world through the characters' perspectives so they can understand the situation through the character. Students will then need to identify values that shape the character's conflict resolution strategies to understand the differences in solving conflict in different cultures. Next, students need to relate themselves to the text and critique the portrayal of characters in the text and in popular media. Teachers need to use variants of the same story to help students build schemas, which allow students to practice comparing and contrasting texts. Throughout this process, students must talk, write, and respond throughout the reading of the multicultural text to fully understand the literature. Research reveals that teachers need to contextualize multicultural literature just like traditional literature. In order for the integration of multicultural literature to be successful, teachers need to help students situate the literature into larger literary traditions, which can be done by teaching multicultural literature with chronological text and using principles to guide students' understanding. In conclusion, multicultural literature is a variety of voices from diverse cultural groups who tell life experiences, traditions, histories, and values. These books promote empathy and allow students to learn about their own and others' cultural identities. When selecting a text, teachers should make sure the text is free from biases, distortion, stereotypes, racism, and sexism. Teachers should use multicultural literature with chronological literature and contextualize the text through information about the culture and the history. By incorporating this literature, more students will feel represented in school and promote an inclusive classroom.